This video is produced by the Cornell University Center for Advanced Computing, a service facility for high-performance computing systems, applications, and data solutions that enable research success. My name is Ray Wong. I'm an undergraduate student employee at Cornell's Center for Advanced Computing. In this video, I will demonstrate how to create a security group to launch a Red Cloud instance. It's important to note that this step can also be done after you create your instance. So what is a security group? A security group's main purpose is to act like a virtual firewall for your instance. What that means is it defines how your instance can be reached from the internet and what traffic is allowed from your instance to go out to the internet. A security group is a collection of rules, each of which specifies that internet traffic will be allowed to come from or go to a set of internet protocol or IP addresses through a given set of ports on your instance. It's important to note that multiple instances can be in the same group. This just means that those rules apply to all the instances in the group. This step of creating a security group is required to launch your instance. So now for the rest of this video, we're going to be operating in the OpenStack web interface. The previous video goes over the URLs that you need to be able to enter and access. One of these is the OpenStack web interface. So for a refresher, you can go back to that video and go over how to log in. So just as a reminder, you're going to need a CAC account in order to create a security group, and you can go to that URL to log in. So once you follow that URL and log in using your CAC username and password, you're going to wind up at this OpenStack login page or welcome page once you log in. So in order to create your security group, what you're going to want to do is first from here, the overview page, you want to click the Networks tab or Network tab, and then click the Security Group subtab. So from here, you're just going to click the Create Security Group button, and you can enter in a unique name. So for this, we're going to go with Test Video 5. And you can optionally enter a description describing what your security group's for. And we're not going to do that here, so we're just going to click Create Security Group. Okay, so as you can see, we've just created a security group, but right now it just has default rules. So now we're going to add in some more rules to add some functionality to our security group. So first, a little background on rules in a security group. So there are two main types of rules in a security group. The first is ingress rules. This deals with what traffic can flow into the instance. The other is egress rules, dealing with what internet traffic can flow out of the instance. So as I mentioned, our current security group only has default rules. The default rules are two egress or output rules, which allow the instance to output from the instance to the internet. So we're now going to add in an ingress rule that allows traffic to go into the instance and potentially connect to the instance. So going back to the browser. So this is our security group, test video 5. We're going to next click Manage Rules. So we will now add an ingress rule to allow traffic in from the outside to connect to your instance. And here are the two default egress rules. So we're just going to click Add Rule. So this is a good time to remind you, this example is focused, or this video is focused on creating a Linux instance, which means you can access the instance from the SSH command. This video this series of videos in general is explaining the most common selections for an instance and the things that work for most people, and is not going through all the options. Since Linux users need to provide SSH access to their instances, we will have to allow TCP connections on port 22, since that's the main way Linux users will connect to their instance. So one way to do that is to just use the custom TCP rule option here. So I'm just going to go through this so you can see how you can modify it if necessary in the future. So we're going to click custom TCP rule, and then the direction will be ingress, like we talked about before. The port, open port field will be port. And for the port number, we're just going to enter in 22. And then we're going to choose CIDR in the remote field. So this will just allow you to specify what IP addresses can access this Red Cloud instance. we're now going to go over the types of CIDR specifications you can use specifically for certain users. So commonly, Red Cloud users want to limit access to their instance to only Cornell affiliated users. In this case, in order to do so, you can use the following three CIDR specifications. The first two, beginning with 128 and 132, are for on-campus users. The third one, beginning with a 10, allows access to those using Cornell's VPN. It also includes access for people who are connected to on-campus networks, such as eduroam. For more IP addresses that limit access to Cornell users, you can follow the link shown on the slide. We will be using this Cornell VPN specific CIDR specification, which begins with a 10. So let's switch back to the browser to use this CIDR specification. We're just going to put our CIDR specification here. So this is the default CIDR specification. It allows access to the whole network, which could be a security risk and is generally not recommended. So we're just going to replace that with the VPN CIDR specification or Cornell VPN CIDR specification. So once you finish the rule, you can click Add. Okay, so we've created our security group successfully. So now you can assign the security group to your instance, and you can continue along these videos to actually launch your instance using your key pair and your security group. Thank you.